Love bombing. This is where it starts. Before the manipulation, the overwhelming affection. Constant attention, compliments. You're different from everyone else. Plans for the future after 2 weeks. It feels like finally being truly seen. It's not real. It's a setup. Love bombing creates dependency fast, so that when the behavior shifts, you're already attached. You spend the rest of the relationship chasing that first feeling back. Gaslighting. You remember something happening. They tell you it didn't. You bring up something they said. They say you made it up. You get upset. They tell you you're too sensitive. Gaslighting makes you doubt your own memory, perception, and sanity. Do it long enough, and the victim stops trusting themselves entirely and starts trusting the narcissist instead. That's the goal. Devaluation. After the love bombing comes the switch. The same person who said you were incredible now criticizes everything. Your appearance, your decisions, your friends. Nothing you do is good enough anymore. This isn't random. Devaluation keeps you destabilized, always working to get back to the version of them that seemed to love you, always slightly off balance. That's exactly where they want you. The silent treatment. They go cold. No explanation, no response, just absence, used deliberately as punishment. This isn't someone needing space. This is a calculated withdrawal of affection to make you anxious, compliant, and desperate to fix something you don't even fully understand. The silence ends the moment you submit. That's how you know it was control, not processing. Triangulation. They introduce a third person, an ex, a friend, a colleague, and use them as a measuring stick. She never acted like this. He would never say something like that. The third person isn't the point. The point is to make you feel replaceable, competitive, insecure enough to try harder. It also works in reverse, making others jealous of your position to keep multiple people competing for their attention at once. Projection. Whatever they are doing, they accuse you of. They're lying, they call you a liar. They're cheating, they accuse you of cheating. They're manipulating, they tell everyone you are the manipulative one. Projection serves two functions. It deflects attention from the actual behavior, and it puts you on the defensive so often that you never have time to focus on what they're actually doing. Carve out. Deny, attack, reverse victim and defender. You confront them about something real. They deny it happened. Then they attack your character for bringing it up. Then somehow by the end of the conversation, they're the one who's been hurt, and you're apologizing. Garvo is one of the most disorienting tactics because it happens fast and it works. You came in with a legitimate concern. You leave feeling like the problem. Intermittent reinforcement. This is the psychological engine that keeps people stuck. Unpredictable reward. Sometimes they're warm, loving, the person you fell for. Other times, cold, cruel, distant. No pattern, no warning. Research on behavioral psychology shows that unpredictable rewards create stronger attachment than consistent ones. It's the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. You keep going because the good moments feel earned, and you never know when the next one is coming. Future faking. Big promises, the house, the family, the life you've always wanted, just not yet. Future faking keeps you invested in a future that will never come. The promises exist to buy time and loyalty, not to be fulfilled. When you bring them up, they're reframed, delayed, or suddenly your fault for expecting too much. Flying monkeys. They don't always do the dirty work themselves. They recruit. Flying monkeys are people, friends, family, mutual connections who carry the narcissist's narrative without realizing they're being used. They deliver messages, report back information, pressure you to reconcile, or simply reinforce the story that you're the problem. Most flying monkeys aren't malicious. They've been manipulated too. Isolation. It starts subtly. A comment about your friend who doesn't seem to have your best interests at heart, a complaint every time you spend time with family. Gradually, your circle shrinks. Isolation isn't accidental. The fewer outside perspectives you have, the more dependent you become on the narcissist's version of reality. When they're your only source of support, leaving becomes almost unthinkable. Moving the goalposts. You do everything they asked. It's still not enough. The standard changes the moment you meet it. First it was your career, then your attitude, then the way you speak, then something else. Moving the goalposts isn't about fixing problems, it's about maintaining control. As long as you're always falling short, they always have leverage. Word salad. Try to have a direct conversation about something real, and it goes nowhere. Circular logic, topic switches, tangents that somehow turn into attacks on you, definitions that shift mid-argument. You came in wanting to resolve something, you leave confused, exhausted, and somehow having apologized. Word salad isn't incompetence, it's a technique. Exhaust your opponent until they give up. Covert quick-downs. These don't look like insults on the surface. You're so brave for wearing that. I'm surprised you got that. I didn't think it was your kind of thing. You're smarter than you look. Each one plants a small seed of doubt. Over time, those seeds accumulate, and the victim starts to see themselves through that lens without realizing where it came from. Victim playing. No matter what happens, they are the one who has been wronged. Call them out, they're being attacked. Set a boundary, you're being cruel. Leave, you're destroying them. Victim playing has a dual purpose. It generates sympathy from outsiders, and it makes the actual victim feel guilty for having any needs or boundaries at all. Hoovering. You left, or they discarded you. Either way, just when you start to feel steady, they come back. A text, an apology that hits exactly right, a reminder of the good times, a sudden crisis that only you can help with. Hoovering is named after the vacuum brand. They suck you back in. And it works because it reactivates the attachment from the love-bombing phase, the version of them you were always trying to get back to. Smear campaigns. When the relationship ends, or when you start pulling away, they move first. They get to your friends, your family, your colleagues before you do. They build a narrative. You are unstable, manipulative, abusive. The story is detailed enough to sound credible and just vague enough to be hard to disprove. The goal is to isolate you socially and preemptively discredit anything you might say about them. Fog. Fear, obligation, guilt. This is the atmosphere all the other tactics create. Fear of their reaction, obligation to manage their emotions, guilt for having your own needs. Fog keeps people in relationships long after they know something is wrong. It's not love holding them there. It's a system of psychological pressure built over turn that makes leaving feel impossible and staying feel like the only responsible option. Understanding fog is often the first step to seeing clearly again. Every one of these tactics does one thing. It transfers control. Control over how you see yourself, how you see them, what you believe happened, what you think you deserve. The most important thing to understand is this. These tactics are not accidents. They're not emotional outbursts. They're a system. And once you can name each part of the system, it loses most of its power. You can't manipulate someone who can see exactly what you're doing.